Hello, the internet. It is Monday, the 12th of July, 2021, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to Julive. This is where I go live every day for the month of July. Bang! Right here on the tubes of you. Like I say every day, not 100% certain why I do this. I don't know what live streaming does to my YouTube channel. If anything at all, it's possibly doing the wrong thing. But here we are for the whole month. This is the program, this is the process, this is what we're doing. I thought it'd be interesting just to have a chat. That's the idea of a live stream. Have a conversation with people live. I do this daily on DLive and the conversations flow and we have a great time. Why can't that exist here on YouTube? I don't know. With that said, let's just have a look at the Chisel Chat. David 2010, hello all, and hey Gibbs. G'day David, how you doing? I'll give you a little cheers as ears here. Good morning David. Chris Child, hello all. Just finished watching football. I don't normally watch it, but I was rather an important game. England flopped as always. Chris, good morning. Condolences. I did watch it as well. If you're English or if you're an England fan, yeah, not a good way to lose a game, right? I mean, I guess we'll talk about football then. Let's talk about football. This is the chit chat. It's just you, Chris, David, and me. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Like, I'm not a football fanatic, but I do watch some of the bigger games. Actually, to be completely fair, I didn't even know this game was being played, but I did get a message last night saying, "Are you getting up early to watch it?" And I was like, "Watch what?" It's like, oh, England are in the final of the Euro Cup. They haven't been there in 25 years or something. And so I did get up. Somehow here in Australia, it said it started at 3 a.m. Oh, sorry, 4 a.m. So I got up at 3:50 a.m. And then I saw, because I was watching it on YouTube on the Optus Sport free-to-air channel. And I got up, you know, pretty groggy and I'm up early to watch the football game. And it said starting in an hour. I was like, what? And so then I searched guides and it's like, no, it doesn't start till 5, not 4. So I got up I've been up super early. And yeah, watched the whole game. Chris, you said you don't normally watch it, but it was a rather important game. England flopped as always. I don't know. I mean, to go out like the way they did with the penalty shootout, it's not a good way to wind up a game in any game, really. I don't know. I think something's wrong with that sport where, you know, that can determine the winner. It's all down to the goalie at that point. Like, it's kind of strange. It's like, it's a team sport, but if you play too long, it actually comes down to how good your goalkeeper is. So the goalkeeper is effectively the most important player and pretty much, when it really boils down to it, the only essential player, because if you don't have a good goalie, comes down to that penalty shootout, bam, your team's losing every time. That said, I thought the English guy did pretty well. He did well to cheer everybody up and keep the momentum going, but wasn't enough when the Italian team can put the ball in the hole, right? Chris, yeah, same. Normally don't care, but when it's your country, long game and much whiskey drank. So yeah, so right. Hey Siri, what time is it in London?
In London, England, it's 23:13.
Oh shit, it's just gone 11 p.m. So yeah, you guys would be all, oh man, it'll be a sorry vibe in Wembley, won't it? It's a crap way to end it. I feel the England team was just knackered. Yeah, I mean, any team would be knackered by the end of that. Like full, 90-minute game in 2 45-minute halves, and then an additional 6 minutes of stoppage time, and then 2 more 15-minute halves with an additional 4 minutes, I think, if you include the one at the front and then 3 at the end. And then penalty shootouts? Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird... I mean, every sport has its own sort of thing. And I guess that's one with football or soccer. The one with tennis is the scoring is weird. Starts with 0 and then it goes to 15, 30 and then 40. So every sport has its own little intricacies, let's just say. David, how is the surf today? I actually haven't been outside yet. I've just been there focused on the football. I haven't actually looked outside yet. It definitely feels like a cheap way to win. Yeah, I think even the Italians would be thinking the same thing. They'd be like, yeah, we won. We're not going to deny ourselves the win, but wasn't the greatest win, right? Arguably, that first goal that England took really early in, like it was in the first 3 or 4 minutes, wasn't it? That was pretty rad. That was like a good stage setting. Why they couldn't continue that, the momentum, and keep that vibe up for the rest of that half? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not like a seasoned football watcher. I do watch the World Cup, which is next year, isn't it? Actually, let me just see. Is the World Cup? When is World Cup football? I think it is next year. 2022, rad. Okay, so I'll be watching all of this. The 2022. Let me make this larger. FIFA World Cup is scheduled to be the 22nd edition of the World Cup. It's scheduled to take place in Qatar. Oh, what was that noise? From 21st of November, so the end of next year. Dang. Okay. This will be the first World Cup ever to be held in the Arab world. This will be the second World Cup held entirely in Asia after South Korea and Japan. Chris Child, first 3 minutes. Yeah, I normally don't follow, but I did enjoy the game until the end. Right. So, Chris, are you you said you're drinking whiskey. Are you out at the moment? Are you out with crew? Are you at a pub or something? I noted while watching that, I mean, just comparatively speaking, it doesn't seem like there's any real COVID issues there at the moment. I mean, I heard the commentator saying the Italian fans that came in, they flew in a bubble or something. They've been in a bubble of isolation, but they allowed them to come into the country to support their team. That's kind of strange too when you think about, I didn't think COVID really cared about football and allowing, like COVID doesn't know if you're a supporter of the football team. So the football's allowed to be played and you're allowed to fly in and out of the, I'm just saying it because we're right in the midst of a pretty heavy turnaround, lockdown and cases. And we've had our first death this year. A 90-year-old female died this last week of COVID-related injuries or symptoms. That's the first death this year. I'm not going to go into that, but I did notice that there was something said about COVID. Very, very little. I don't know if the feed I was watching had extra audio pumped in. They did this at the tennis. Some of the tennis matches when COVID was popping off big time, they had piped audio of generic crowd applauses. And it was really obvious because when they cut to a wide shot, there was no one in the stands, but yet there was all this raucous noise. I'm not too sure if that was happening at this game. I couldn't quite tell. But yeah, let's keep reading this because I'm intrigued. Accusations of corruption have been made relating to how Qatar won the right to host the event. A FIFA internal investigation and report cleared Qatar of any wrongdoing, but Chief Investigator Michael J. Garcia has since described FIFA's report on his inquiry as containing numerous materially incomplete and erroneous representations. Qatar, you sneaky little buggers. 27th of May 2015, Swiss federal prosecutors opened an investigation into corruption and money laundering related to the 2018 and 2022 World Cup bids. On the 6th of August 2018, former FIFA president Sepp Blatter claimed that Qatar used black ops, suggesting that the bid committee had cheated to win the hosting rights. Shooey. Additionally, Qatar has faced strong criticism due to the treatment of foreign workers involved in preparation for the World Cup, Amnesty International referring to forced labor and stating that hundreds of thousands of migrant workers have died as a result of human rights abuses and careless, inhumane work conditions, despite worker welfare standards being drafted in 2014. Wow. Sounds hectic. I mean, how does that affect the game? I don't know, but thousands okay for football, all hugging and shouting at each other. No, I'm home and relaxing. The COVID rules make zero sense. I have a friend who cannot see their dad in hospital due to COVID risk and another who couldn't see his kids play at school. Yet the Italian fans can fly in and out of the country to see a football game. It's weird, isn't it? It's very strange. I think all the government here care about is money. And I mean, obviously, that was a big money the stadium was packed at Wembley for the Euro Cup, so they definitely made their coin there. Let's continue reading this then. I don't have to go into all the details of how this is selected. Ethan, hello Ethan. Why we here? Why we here? Ethan, I don't know how to take that, dude. I don't know how to take that from you. Why are you here, or why are we here? So the countries bidden for the 2022 World Cup was the United States, South Korea, Japan, Australia, and Qatar. Wow, Australia put in a bid for it to host it? I mean, if we can't play the game, we might as well host it. Australia is funny, like World Cup happens every 4 years, and like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the sport. I don't really know anything about it except that these critical games where I become very bandwagon-esque. But you see Australia and they're like, Australia in the World Cup, and then the first round it's like, and we're out. It's like, you were barracking for Australia, or you were rooting for Australia, and now who are you going to choose after the first set of games? Oh, I'll have to go somewhere else. I usually go Germany because I'm half German. Chris Child, what on earth? What purpose of this stream? Hey Ethan, the purpose of this stream is having a little chat, my friend. If that's okay with you, continue to chat with us. That's the purpose. If you want to know the overriding purpose of this stream, to have a chat with you, Ethan, and Chris and me. Ethan, don't start trolling. It sounds like you're going to be a little trollsky, Ethan. Possible expansion of the World Cup. Qualification. FIFA's 6... Oh yeah, is Australia in it this year? FIFA's 6 continental confederations organise their own qualifying competitions. All FIFA member associations, of which there are currently 211, are eligible to enter qualification. Qatar, as hosts, qualified automatically for the tournament. However, the AFC obliged Qatar to participate in the Asian qualifying stage, as the first 2 rounds also act as a qualification for the 2023 Asian Cup. Right. So I don't get into all that extra. There's too many cups, right? Just make one cup. If the Qataris reach the final stage as winners in their group or as one of the 4 best runner-ups, the 5th best team will advance instead. The reigning World Cup champions, France, they won last time, okay, will also go through... Is there symbol a chicken? Classic. Will also go through qualifying stages as normal. Saint Lucia initially entered qualifications but withdrew before their first match. North Korea withdrew from the qualifying round due to fears related to COVID-19. The allocation of slots for each confederation was discussed in Zurich, in Switzerland. The committee decided that the allocations in 2006 remained unchanged, would continue for the 2022 tournament. Pertsky in the house. Yo, Pertsky, how you doing, man? Good to see you, Pertsky. What is the purpose of this stream? What is this all about? Good to see you, man. So CAF, the qualification from Africa, 5 teams. The Asian qualifications, 4.5 teams, which I guess this is where we'd come through, right? Australia in the Asian conglomerate. UEFA, which is Europe, 13 teams. CONCACAF, Caribbean and North Central America, 3.5 teams. OFC, Oceania, half a team. That would be Australia, wouldn't it? The Oceanic selection of the 2020 World Cup will act as qualifiers. Right. Rodrigo Bertatoli. Hello, Rodrigo. How you doing, man? Rodrigo, would you be Italian? Bertatelli? Bertolotti. With a name like Bertolotti, you'd be Italian, right? If so, well played. Not the World Cup, the European Cup. If you watched the game, we watched it. I watched it. So qualified teams. The only teams qualified so far is Qatar because they're hosting. Oh, you're from Uruguay. Gotcha. Did you watch it anyway? Did you enjoy? So How come it's next year and we've only got one team that's qualified thus far? Huh. They qualified when they won the hosting on the 2nd of December 2010. But my grandpa is Italian. So your grandpa watched it. The venue, the first 5 proposed venues for the World Cup were unveiled in the beginning of March 2010. Qatar. Okay. Lusail Iconic Stadium. Al Bayat Stadium. Capacities 80,000 on each. Or 60, 80, 40, and 40. Okay, smaller and larger stadiums. David, I cannot wait for the soccer next year. You're into it, David? You watch it? See, with the World Cup, I do watch most of the games, but I don't go anywhere near as fanatical as some people. And also, it's only every 4 years the way I see it. So it's not like it's a big commitment. For someone who's not into the sport per se, a small commitment for the World Cup isn't a huge commitment for me. They didn't win the host. They bought it with corruption. We just read about that, Pertsky. We just read about it. David, yeah, I'm into the soccer game. You're into the soccer. So you're right into it. Fair enough. So who are you rooting for at the World Cup, dude? David 2010, who are you rooting for at the World Cup? Oh, there's smaller stadiums as well. 40,000 Al Junob Stadium, Khalifa International Stadium, Ahmed bin Ali Stadium, Education City Stadium. Schedule. The final draw is scheduled to take place in April 2022. The opening match featuring the host Qatar will be played on the 21st of November. So the end of next year. Quite a ways away. The end of next year. I'm hoping Australia win it all. David. I'll cheers that, but there ain't. I got news for you. There's 2 chances of that happening. Slim. How long have we been streaming for? 22 minutes. Slim and fuck all. Australia ain't gonna win anything. Australia will be lucky to get through the next stage, or the first stage. During the group stage, 4 matches will be played on each day, with kickoff times being 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 9 p.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. First 2 rounds and 8. Yeah, blah 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 blah. I made you laugh, Gibbs. You made me giggle, dude. Why does Australia not have a good soccer team? I think, look, I'm probably the wrong person. Well, I'm definitely the wrong person to ask, but I would suggest lack of money. Like places such as England and France and Italy have a lot more cash invested in their sports, and Australia doesn't have much invested in sports at all, particularly that sport. I mean, you have a great rugby team. That's because, like rugby, it's a thug sport, right? Rugby doesn't really require too much skill aside from brutality. The bigger the man, the more intimidating. Whereas soccer or football involves a lot more, let's just say, skills requiring finesse and grace and yeah. I don't want to go too deep into that because I'm not really a sports guy, but Australia is more of a thugs. Football is more rugby, and AFL is more of a thugs game, whereas soccer, football, the use of a circular ball is more of a skill, is the way I look at it. Pertsky, we have good individual players but bad management. So you're talking about Germany, or are you talking about Australia? And it's hard when all the good players are normally in Europe. And I mean, you look at the good players in Australia, and they're typically not even Australian anyway. They're just imports. Rodrigo, bra boys, right. I mean, that's another thing, but yeah. So the group stage, Group A. So Qatar's in Group A, and A2, A3, and A4. And we don't know these Group Bs because we don't know who's qualified yet. So I guess this coming year is the group qualifying for the... So Australia hasn't even qualified for the World Cup. And more than likely, they probably won't. It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me. The final will be played on the 18th of December. Assuming COVID doesn't change everything. So we've got a whole year to wait. If you're interested in this sport, we've got a whole year to wait. Controversies. Here we go. A number of groups and media outlets have expressed concern over the suitability of Qatar to host the event. With regard, is this going to be big enough for you guys? With regard to interpretations of human rights, particularly worker conditions and the rights of fans in the LGBT community, because of the illegality of homosexuality in Qatar. Ooh. How many gay football players are there in the teams that may be qualifying? This is going to be intriguing. Are there, let me ask you, because I don't know, are there gay football players that will be competing at this level that may advance through to the World Cup? If so, there will probably be reports of illegal activities in the villages at Qatar at the World Cup. That's going to be, bam, popping off huge, right? Wow. Of course there are. Okay, who are they? Hassan Abdullah Al Thwadi, chief executive of the country's 2022 World Cup bid, said that Qatar would also permit alcohol consumption during the event, even though drinking in public is not permitted, as the country's legal system is based on Sharia law. So hang on a second. Alcohol consumption and drinking in public are two different things. Consuming alcohol in a stadium, is that considered public? I thought public was like out on the streets, in a bus, at a train station. Are they saying that they won't be allowing, you won't be able to buy beer at the World Cup? What are all the English fans going to do? What about those guys? What about when England get through to the qualifying stages, you can't drink beer to watch them? Wow. Far out. I mean, that's not going to go down well. The selection of Qatar as the host country has been controversial. FIFA officials were accused of corruption and allowing Qatar to buy the World Cup. The treatment of construction workers was called into question by human rights groups, and the high cost needed to make the plans a reality were criticized. The climate conditions? That's not in anyone's control, though. Climate conditions caused some to call hosting the tournament in Qatar infeasible. I see what they're saying. So the games, while they're being played, if it's too damn hot and humid, it's going to suck for the players, right? With initial plans for air-conditioned stadiums giving way to a potential date switch from summer to winter. That's intriguing. Interesting. In May 2014, Sepp Blatter, this old cobber, who was the FIFA president at the time of the selection but later banned for illegal payments? What? So this guy, Sepp Blatter, took bribery, is what Pertsky said earlier, right? This is what you're alluding to, right, Pertsky? He remarked that awarding the World Cup to Qatar was a mistake because of the extreme heat. However, while addressing delegates from African and Asian confederations, Blatter said allegations of corruption and some of the criticism, including those from sponsors, was very much linked to racism and discrimination. This looks like it's going to be all kinds of wrong, but they're obviously going ahead with it, right? It's obviously well and truly into the final plan stages. They're already building the stadiums and crap. Wow. Migrant workers, slavery, allegations, and deaths. This sounds like a Hollywood blockbuster. The issue of migrant workers' rights has also attracted attention, with an investigation by the Guardian newspaper claiming that many workers are denied food and water. Speaking of water, I'm parched as, bro. Interesting. This is interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. Have taken their identity papers away from them, and that they are not paid on time or at all, making some of them in effect slaves. Wow. The Guardian has estimated that up to 4,000 workers may die due to lax safety and other causes by the time of the competition is held. Chris Child, this article is getting darker as you read. Dude, this is heavy, hey? Like, is this what we need to go through to get a game of football played in Qatar on the world stage, it seems like it might not be worth all the hassle. No drinking, no sex if you enjoy the sex with the male, people dying building the thing, corruption and extortion and bribery to get the thing done, slavery. These claims are based upon the fact that 522 Nepalese workers and over 700 Indian workers have died already since 2010 when Qatar's bid as a World Cup host was won. Wow. I like butter. You're a dickhead. And the Indian government says that it's quite normal. Whoa. Given there are 500,000 Indian workers in Qatar, the Indian government says that is quite normal number of deaths. What was the number again? 250 Indian workers died while working on the construction. They're like, yeah, but we got 1 million Indians here. That's nothing. Like, that's a small percentage. Don't worry about it. That's nothing, hey? Bad luck if you're in that group of people that died. In 2015, a crew of 4 journalists from the BBC were arrested and held for 2 days after they attempted to report on the condition of workers in the country. Now, is this conditions of workers in the country or working on the World Cup stadiums? The reporters had been invited to visit the country as guests of the government, and they were held. Crikey. It's ridiculous, Pertsky. Even worse than all these things, they didn't even have a culture of football. But I know that name, Qatar. I've seen Qatar in the World Cup before, right? Qatar, they're as bad as Australia. They get eliminated right off the bat, right? They'll get their first game in and they'll be like, we're here at the World Cup and we're out. That's like Australia. So I've heard of Qatar before. The Wall Street Journal reported in 2015, the International Trade Union Confederation's claim that over 1,200 workers had died while working on infrastructure and real estate projects related to the World Cup. So that's a bigger number, 1,200. And the Qatar government's counterclaim that none had. So Qatar are like, nah, there hasn't been any deaths. And the International Trade Federation was like, yeah, we got records of 1,200. Nah, none. There's none. They're just denying it, right? We're not that bad, just not at the top. Australia, Pertsky, we're woeful at soccer. The Qatar government's counterclaim that none had died. The BBC later reported that the often cited figure of 1,200 workers having died in World Cup construction between 2011 and 2013 is not correct. And that 1,200 number is instead representing deaths from all Indians and Nepalese working in Qatar. So that's what I just asked. So that figure, I mean, these figures are all over the shop then, right? These figures aren't exactly accurate. Who are we supposed to believe here? The BBC? The BBC? Or the International Trade Union Confederation? Or the Qatar government? You make your own choice. Most Qatar nationals avoid doing manual work or low-skilled jobs. Additionally, these are given preference at the workplace. So no one wants to do the job except the Indians. Michael van Praag, the president of the Royal Dutch Football Association, requested the FIFA Executive Committee to pressure Qatar over these allegations to ensure better working conditions. He also stated that a new vote on the attribution of the World Cup to Qatar would have to take place if the corruption allegations were to be proved. Wow, dude. In March 2016, so that goes back to 2011, 2013, but in 2016, Amnesty got involved, accusing Qatar of using forced labor and forcing employees to live in poor conditions, withholding wages and passports. It accused FIFA of failing to stop the stadium being built on human right abuses. Migrant workers told Amnesty about verbal abuse and threats they received after complaining about not being paid up to several months. Nepali workers were even denied leave to visit their family after the earthquake in Nepal. Wow. In October 2017, the International Trade Union Confederation said Qatar had signed an agreement to improve the situation of more than 2 million migrant workers. According to the association, the agreement provided for established sustainable reforms in labour. Okay, blah, blah, blah. The workers will no longer need their employees' permission to leave the country or change their jobs. Well, that's a good thing. I'm going out of the country. I'm not letting you. I want to go and visit my family. Not letting you. That's weird, right? Qatar, you strangos. In February 2019, Amnesty International questioned whether they would be able to complete the promised labour reforms before the start of the World Cup. A sentiment that was backed by FIFA. So you gave them the rights to host this and now you're questioning it? Amnesty International found that abuses were still occurring despite the nation taking some steps to improve labour rights. Dude. In May 2019, an investigation by UK's Daily Mirror, and take that as you will, the Daily Mirror, tabloid extreme publication at its best, they discovered some of the 28,000 workers on the stadiums are being paid 750 of these Qatari Rial, which is equivalent to £190 per month, or 99 pence an hour for a typical 48-hour week. Now, that should be taken pretty lightly considering, you know, things that probably are cheaper to buy in Qatar and the living standard's a lot less. So I don't know if you can, I mean, I don't know, I've never been to Qatar, but I don't know how well you could, I don't know what you could read into this aside from that's pound and that's Qatar Rial. The Dutch company Hendrix Gras Zoden refused to supply Qatar with World Cup turf, having been the supplier for the 2006 edition. Oh, wow. So these guys that normally lay down the grass, they said, nah, we're not doing it. We're not going there. We're not going there. You guys can get somebody else. Wow. According to company spokesperson Geridian Vloot, one reason for the decision was the accusations of human rights. Wow. Yo, John, how you doing, man? John Fritzecki. Qatar is a super rich oil country. Here comes a cheers for you, man. Cheers, man. So it's a super rich oil country. Okay. In April 2020, the government of Qatar provided $824 million to pay the wages of migrant workers in quarantine or undergoing treatment for COVID-19. That's a goodwill gesture from the Qatar government. In August 2020, the Qatari government announced a monthly minimum wage for all workers of 1,000 rials. So US 275. So that's not quite what the UK Daily Mirror reported in 2019. An increase from the previous temporary minimum wage of 750. The new laws went into effect in March 2021, so this year. The International Labour Organization says Qatar is the first country in the region to introduce a non-discriminatory minimum wage, which is part of a series of historical reforms of the country's labour laws. Wow. I mean, it doesn't, I mean, it's from the outset, this is what this sounds like. It sounds like to get it there was all kinds of wrong, bribery, corruption, payment plans. Once it got there and it was locked in, man, something tickling my nasal passage. Once it was locked in at Qatar, it seems like there's been a lot of investigations going down and people are sort of working out that that place isn't up to speed, and the Qatari government are trying to do whatever they can to get it up to speed by the sound of it, these new wage increases and crap. Adrian, hello. Adrian, hey Gibbs, I was trying to chat with you on D-Live just now. Oh, were you? It's on a rerun. Yeah, this is an exclusive YouTube stream, my friend. It's atrocious. It's an outrage, Perdsky. How was the Jack with Coke? Yes, last night we did drink from this guy, Apple Jack. I drank that much of it, and we mixed it with Coke, and it was very, very tasty. I'll have some more of that coming through to the weekend. What is this? Move to November and December. Owing to the climate in Qatar, concerns were expressed over holding the World Cup in its traditional timeframe of June and July. I thought, when I saw that this was happening at the end of next year, I was like, I didn't want to say anything, but I thought, I kind of remember watching it in our winter time, right? Like now, like usually mid-year. In October 2013, a task force was commissioned to consider alternative dates. On the 24th of February, the FIFA task force proposed the tournament be played from late November to late December to avoid the summer heat between May and September. Also, it'll avoid clashing with the 2022 Winter Olympics in February and Ramadan in April. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, observed by Muslims as the month of fasting, prayer, reflection, and community. We need that on D-Live. We do. We need more community. The notion of staging... By the way, this is YouTube, but I'm just saying. The notion of staging the tournament in November is controversial since it would interfere with the regular season schedules of some domestic leagues around the world, which is where they draw their teams from, right? Commentators have noted the clash with the Western Christmas season is likely to cause disruption, while there is concern about how short the tournament is intended to be. FIFA Executive Committee member Theo Zwagzinger said the awarding 22 World Cup desert state was a blatant mistake. Wow. Frank Lowy, chairman of the Football Federation of Australia, said that if the 22 World Cup was moved to November and thus upset the schedule of the A-League, which is the Australian League, they would seek compensation. Richard Scudamore, Thunderbolt and Lightning, very, very frightening, Richard, chief executive of the Premier League, stated that they would consider legal action against FIFA because a move would interfere with the Premier League's popular Christmas and New Year fixture program. Wow. However, on the 19th of March 2015, FIFA sources confirmed that the 22 World Cup final will be played on 18th of December. So sucked in, everybody. It's like, nah, we're doing it. We're doing it. We've already done it. It's happening and it's in. So it doesn't matter what you want to say about it. It's on. Bidding corruption allegations. Cracky. Qatar has faced growing pressure over its hosting of the World Cup in relation to allegations over the role of former top football official Mohammed bin Hammaman played in securing the bid. A former employee of the Qatar bid team alleged that several African officials were paid $1.5 million by Qatar. She retracted the claims, but later said that it was coerced to do so by the bid officials. You will keep quiet, and you will take back what you said. If you want to work with us on this campaign, you will take back those words. In March 2014, it was discovered that disgraced former CONCACAF president Jack Warner and his family were paid $2 million from a firm linked to Qatar's successful campaign. Well, it was a donation, let's just call it. A little donation. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is investigating this. Oh, crikey. Wow. Pertsky, I love Switzerland, but they're allowed Sepp Blatter to not languish in a dingy prison is injustice. 5 of the FIFA's 6 primary sponsors, Sony, Adidas, Visa, Hyundai, and Coca-Cola, have called upon FIFA to investigate the claims. Wow, so big names behind this. The Sunday Times published bribery allegations based on a leak of millions of secret documents. Millions? Millions of secret documents? Millions? How many secret documents do you need to confirm a bribery? They've got millions? I don't believe that. Jim Boyce, the vice president of the FIFA, has gone on record stating he would support a revote to find a new host if the corruption allegations are proven. Well, how many more million documents do you need to prove it? FIFA completed a lengthy investigation into these allegations, and a report cleared Qatar of any wrongdoing. Despite the claims, the Qataris insist that corruption allegations are being driven by envy and mistrust, while Sepp Blatter said it is fueled by racism in the British media. This is heavy, right? Yo, Shadows! Good morning. I did not get a notification. That's all right. We've been up, well, I've been up since 4, watching the England team bow out against Italy. And we went early. We went live early today, Charlotte. We went live early. And we're just looking a little at the World Cup. It's going to be played next year in Qatar. But there are all kinds of allegations of corruption and bribery here. it looks hectic. It looks sketchy. It looks hectic. In 2015, in the 2015 FIFA corruption case, Swiss officials operating under information from the United States Department of Justice arrested many senior FIFA officials in Zurich. They also seized physical and electronic records from FIFA's main headquarters. The arrests continued in the States, where several FIFA officers were arrested and FIFA buildings raided. All of this for a fucking game of football? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's the money, right? It's not. This now becomes not about kicking a ball into a goal. This becomes more about how much money can we maintain from this, or how much money can we squeeze out of this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just want to kick the soccer ball, man. The arrests were made on the information of at least 150 mil corruption and bribery scandal. Right? In June of 2015, Fedra Al-Maji, the former media officer for the Qatar bid team, claimed that the allegations would result in Qatar not hosting the World Cup. In an interview published on the same day, Domenico Scala, the head of the FIFA's Audit and Compliance Committee, stated that should there be evidence that the award to Qatar and Russia came only because of bought votes, then the award could be cancelled. Well, should be cancelled, right? Wow. Hectic, folks. Qatar diplomatic crisis. In June 2017, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates and Yemen cut diplomatic ties with Qatar, accusing it of destabilizing the region and supporting terrorist groups. Shit. Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Mauritania. I've never heard of Mauritania. The United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt, in a letter, asked FIFA to replace Qatar as World Cup host, calling the country as a base of terrorism. Well, heavens above. In October 2017, Lieutenant General Dali Kalan Tamin, head of the Dubai security for the UAE, wrote about the Qatar diplomatic crisis, saying the blockade on the country will end if it surrenders the World Cup. Far out. We were also in the running to host, so they ripped us off as well. Now, Podsky, you're talking about Australia when you talk like that. Yeah, we spent tens of mil. Not enough to get a bribe, though, right? You need more if you're going to be bribing. Imagine what a host we could have meant to the ethic diaspora in Melbourne. Not even sure what diaspora is. The message appeared to imply that the Saudi Arabian-led blockade of Qatar was only enacted due to Qatar hosting the world's biggest football event. That's what that sounds like. So as it stands, it looks like it's still going ahead, despite all of this. Look at all those linkses, crikey. I would suggest it's still going ahead, right? So let's just reread this. Accusations of corruption have been made relating to how Qatar won the rights to host it. The FIFA internal investigation cleared Qatar of any wrongdoing. In 2015, Swiss federal prosecutor. Yeah, we read that. Okay, but it's still going ahead, right? And the dates are 21st November to 18 December. There's the official emblem, the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. There you go. As much as you might not agree that they should host it, and as much as there may be all of these reports of bribery, corruption, low-paid workers, slavery, deaths during the construction of all the stadiums, all that crap, banning of homosexuality, no drinking, all of that crap, it's still going ahead. So get used to it and get ready for a very tame World Cup. If you can't drink beer, or they said, I still didn't quite get that. Are they saying that they're going to relax the alcohol laws? Won't a lot of their locals go nuts then? If you can't drink alcohol in Qatar, yet you're allowed to for the World Cup, it's going to be like backyard piss up, right? When the first kid gets drunk for the first time, 14-year-olds running around the city legless. This is foreign language to me, Charlotte Rose. See, I don't actually watch this stuff, but I do I do get kind of like on the bandwagon during big games. And last night or this morning was a big game. England having a chance to win the Euro Cup in the finals for the first time in 25 years or something, and they lost to Italy. Pretty sketchy. It was a penalty kick out. There'll be a lot of rioting, I imagine, a lot of furious English fans. You can drink in the stadiums. Is that what they were saying? Is that what they were saying? Right. So that's drinking in public then in Qatar. What's in the cup then, right? It's just shut up. What is in the cup? What's the cup for if you can't drink booze from it? If the locals get caught drinking, they'll be nabbed. The locals are also banned from drinking in the 5-star hotels. Wow. But they're relaxing that law for the World Cup. Did you see the story I sent to Discord last night? New South Wales getting fucked over. I didn't see it, Charlotte, but I'll grab it and we'll like, I don't know if that's a suggestion for a YouTube stream, but if you do have suggestions, like this stream today, I just came out saying, let's just have a chat, right? Let's have a conversation. I do stream on DLive daily and we just chew the fat, right? We just talk and have a good time. And I thought, why not do that on YouTube? Why is YouTube sometimes not really, I don't know, it doesn't seem like the place where you can just come out and free chat, but I thought today we'd have a free chat, and it turns out we're talking about soccer, football. I didn't know that would be the case, but here we are. So yeah, if you've got suggestions for what we can chat about, what you want to talk about, go to my Discord and do what Charlotte did and pop them in the chat, in the Discord, and we'll talk about that crap. No, Muslims are banned from drinking. That's not what it said here, Pertsky. It didn't say that here. It said, where was it? We read about that, dude. We read about that. Schedule. It's in the controversial section, which is the biggest section here to read after the group allocations. Yeah, here we go. Controversies. A number of groups and media outlets have expressed concern over the suitability of Qatar to host the event with regard to interpretations of human rights, particularly worker conditions and the rights of fans in the LGBT community, because of the illegality of homosexuality in Qatar. So being gay is illegal in Qatar. And I asked the question, how many gay football players are there that are going to be partaking in this tournament? There must be heaps of them, right? Must be heaps of gay footballers. Well, if you go to play in the World Cup in Qatar, you're breaking the law. You're breaking local laws.
Money's too tight for steak.
Steak?
Hi, folks. Nice to see you, cut of meat.
David Prettybread, thank you for the €5 super chat, my friend. Nice to see you, cut of meat. How you doing, man? This is the standard law all over the Gulf, but they're making exceptions here, dude. Hassan Abdullah Al Thwadi, the chief executive of the country's 2022 World Cup bid, said that Qatar would also permit alcohol consumption during the event, even though drinking in public is not permitted as the country's legal system is based on Sharia. So you can booze up at the stadiums and you can have the sex with the men and the women if you wanted to. Those exemptions were meant for tourists. Are football players considered tourists, though? They aren't banned legally. Adrian, how you doing, man? Adrian, they aren't banned legally from drinking, I guess, but religiously they probably are. Interesting. Interesting. The voice has changed. That voice did change, didn't it? It's a smoother voice, wasn't it? A little smoother. So, as it stands, what are we now? July 2021. This thing kicks off in November 2022. And as it stands right now, it's all going ahead. Doesn't matter what people think or what the media has said or what the reports have found. This is going ahead in Qatar, and it's going to take place in November. We don't know the teams that have been added to the schedule because they haven't qualified. Australia hasn't even qualified yet. The only locked in team into the schedule is the host nation, Qatar. They get in because they're hosting. That's the only thing we know. If you look at these teams that are hosting here, or the grid stage, the group stage, my bad, none of these are filled out, right? So Group A, Group 2, Group B.
Steak?
Money's too tight for steak.
Steak?
Meat wagon. Cut of meat, 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 cuts of meat.
Charlotte Rose, thank you for the $8 super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you, Charlotte. Meat wagon. Cut of meat, 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 cuts of meat. I like how you put that at the end there. The meat wagon here. That's the lemon train deal. That's the equivalent. The meat wagon. The meat wagon. Dude, that sounds rad. Sounds like that's a great band name, Meat Wagon. So I guess the other question I've got then, what does Australia have to do to qualify for the World Cup? What does Australia have to do to qualify for World Cup 2022? What do I gotta do to search? Press enter. Socceroos World Cup Hub, Australia's qualification path for the World Cup. Let's take a look-ski. We must win our stages in the qualifiers, right? Maybe I should get on this bandwagon early and watch these qualifying games. The Socceroos have reached the third round of Asia's World Cup qualification, with the top two teams from each of the two groups booking a ticket to the Qatar 22 tournament. The Graham Arnold, sounds like a biscuit. The Graham Arnold-led Australian team will be aiming to qualify for their fifth consecutive World Cup and a sixth in the nation's history. Australia's qualification. Oh, yes. Yes, Adrian. The qualification. I'll pay that, dude. Wow, that's cool. Australia has received their final path to the World Cup with a favourable draw featuring Japan, Saudi Arabia, China, Oman, and Vietnam. Wow. So, third round... Group B, Australia versus China in September. So we got September this year. We play a few of these teams. Pertsky, only Japan is a problem. Japan is good, right? Okay, well I guess I'll watch this crap too when this comes around. Remind me again in September, folks, to get on the bandwagon. It's early in the earliest, like September 2nd, early. So remind me late October, November, August. When it's August, oh, that's next month. August. My birthday, okay. My birthday's the 29th of August. Put that in your freaking calendars and remind me around my birthday to get back on the bandwagon. Soccer, football, yeah, Australia, because I'm gonna try to watch these qualifying matches and see how we go. Commentary streams are popular. Yeah, but you can't really do that, can you? You know what? We'll talk about that another time. We'll talk about commentary streams another time. But you cannot play the audio or video, of course. So I could have the game up, but I have to blur it? Is that what you're saying? You cannot play the audio or video, of course. So what would I play? Well, if I did a commentary stream, what would I have up there? Would I just have like a blurred image? You put the audio in your ear and give commentary. Well, would that be something you'd want to watch? Like me talk and I see what you're saying. So I tell you what I'm watching. I say I'm watching the Australian third round group stage. I'm watching the Australian third round group stage, Australia versus China, and I'm watching it on free television, or I'm watching it on the YouTube channel. Like this morning, I watched it on the Optus Sports channel for free, and I've got that on a screen what I'm watching, and I tell you I'm watching it, so you watch it on that, and then you have my commentary in your cans as well. Could I call a game though? Could I call a game of soccer? I mean, I'd be getting drunk with you guys. Actually, you know what? Let's do that, Shizzle. It's just you talking, watching the game, so the idea people watch it and also have you on. Yeah, Pertsky, okay, let's do that. Let us do that for Shizzle. For sure. We'll do it on YouTube too. Yeah, we'll do. Okay. Remind me in September, or sorry, at my birthday time. Say, dude, you were gonna support your own team, and you were gonna get on the bandwagon, and we'll do them on YouTube. Streamses. It sounds funny. Yeah, it sounds fun. We can just watch online here in Canada. I mean, if it's possible. Yeah. I'll put in the chat. I'll say I'm watching it here, and I'll give you the link, and you go to the link and you play it, and we're watching it at the same time. And I'll turn latency to the absolute lowest on YouTube, and we'll go ahead and have commentary. Yeah, all right, that'll be interesting. What a great idea. Thank you for the great idea, Pertsky. Hey, by the way, thanks for you all being here today. I genuinely just came out here having a bit of a chinwag, bit of a chisel chat, and here we are. What did we stream for an hour and just had a good time. Finally, when summer is over, dude, we're in our winter right now, and I want summer badly. I want summer. I want to be warm when I'm surfing. I don't want to be out there in the cold. Folks, I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you to the super chats, David Pretty Bread and Charla Rose. Thank you for all the conversate we've had in the Chisel chat today. If you are interested, I'll be over on DLive later on my regular stream. We're going to look into something pretty heavy, though. We're going to look at the storming of the Capitol. I've got a documentary here that does look into the specifics of it, and apparently it's pulled in a lot of different stream feeds and made this thing into like a rundown of how it went down. It's going to be pretty controversial. We'll definitely be X-tagged on DLive today. If you're interested in seeing that, join me over on the DLive machine, and I'll see you all tomorrow on Julive, which will be the 13th day of July. Spooky 13 Friday. No, it's not Friday the 13th. It's Tuesday the 13th. Forget that. I'll see you yahoos tomorrow. Cheers. That didn't end, did it? You're still there, aren't you? Damn it. I forgot to press the end button. That's how you end it, by pressing the end button. I did it this time. I was just getting ready to do a big stretch. Take this off. Didn't end.